4th and goal to go to the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right, now I guess somebody must have been, looking into the future a little bit. Now, this is, unfortunately, this season for Eli really would have been a good season for Eli to get into the Hall of Fame, but it was not meant to be. Now, of course, unfortunately, the way things are working out, right, is he's going to have to start going up and battling against, Ben Roethlisberger, some guy in, a couple of years, whatever it is, some guy by the name of, Tom Brady. I think he might get into, Drew Brees. These guys are all accomplished. Now Eli has more Super Bowls, more Super Bowl MVPs than Drew Brees. Drew Brees only won one, but Drew Brees is yardage leader, passing, and all pro. Ben Roethlisberger's only won 2 Super Bowls. He hasn't won more than Eli, but all pros and yard and all that. Those guys that have it all over Eli. So unfortunately, it says in this article, Eli's probably going to get in sooner or later. He just might have to wait a little while. Meaning, this one article, retired New York Giants quarterback Eli Manning projected as a snub, meaning he won't get in, for next 5 Hall of Fame classes because he's going to be going head to head. And if not even so much head to head about possibly, quarterbacks, they're just maybe more decorated players who maybe might have some Super Bowl wins underneath their belt, but some, all pros, Pro Bowls, and all that. That's huge. That is huge. So, a Hall of Fame projection leaves a certain New York Giants legend waiting on the doorsteps of Canton. Hall of Fame projection covering the next 5 years doesn't paint a rosy picture for the retired New York Giants legend Eli Manning. Getting into the Pro Football Hall of Fame may require another improbable upset for Manning. Projecting the following 5 Canton classes from SI.com, excluding Manning, the 2-time Super Bowl champion MVP who guided Big Blue to its most recent bout of championship glory. Manning won 2 Super Bowls, including Super Bowl 42 and 46, when he and the Giants stunned the undefeated Patriots. Still, his credentials are borderline. With only 4 Pro Bowls and 0 All-Pro teams in 16 seasons, in 2025, Manning was one of 15 finalists, but didn't make it to the round of final 10, showing that while he's on the radar, he's not particularly close. Perhaps sensing the blue firestorm heading his way upon rejection of Manning, the guy Verderame, the guy who wrote the article, argued that the new voting process, which sees a 50-person selection committee whittle down the candidates from 15 to 10 down to 5, might not work in Manning's favor. Next year's ballot, for example, includes first-time entrants Drew Brees. Drew Brees is getting in. That doesn't necessarily mean that they can't take 2 quarterbacks in, but they got Drew Brees. Larry Fitzgerald, he's getting in there. If he's not a first-time, Drew Brees ain't a first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't know who is. If Larry Fitzgerald doesn't get in there next year, forget about it. They got Jason Witten, too, right? So all of whom carry what's likely an inevitable case for an eventual induction. So still, one of them may face a weight of some, as the guy predicts. Features Brees and Fitzgerald, joined by Bill Belichick, Ralph Hay, and Luke Kuechly. I don't know how Bill Belichick's going to get in there. He's only been out for I don't know. Things got particularly murky in 2028 when J.J. Watt and Tom Brady, the latter best known in Giants lore as the victim of Manning's finest metropolitan hours in Super Bowls 42 and 46, are on the ballot, leaving two candidates that are not only first-time showers, but unanimous winners as well. Under the current system that leaves 150 votes for 5 candidates who need at least 40 nods to earn the Canton invite. With so many terrific candidates coming up as potential first or second ballot Hall of Famers in the next 5 years, Manning could be squeezed by the voting situation. The guy says, does leave a glimmer of hope in the 2030 selection, which features a relatively light first ballot cast headlined by former Dallas Cowboys offensive staple Zach Martin. Zach's going to get in. If Martin does not get the nod on his first time around, I find that hard to believe, but Manning could perhaps sneak in. Manning's Hall of Fame case will continue to be a contentious talking point in the tri-state area and beyond, one where his championship accomplishments do most of the talking. As it stands, Manning is one of 2 Hall of Fame eligible quarterbacks with 2 Super Bowl rings not to be in Canton, the other being Oakland lost Jim Plunkett. Well, Jim Plunkett, he won, after the 80 season and after the 83 season, he was the quarterback for but his stats are not very, very, he's got 2 Super Bowl wins, both with the Raiders, but his passing stats, he passed for like a little over 50% completion. His stats are not super duper spectacular. Additionally, Manning is also the only eligible 2-time Super Bowl MVP, a brotherhood that includes the inevitable entrants Brady and Patrick Mahomes to be denied the invitation. And then I got another one here. Let's see here. Eli Manning faces the long road to Pro Football Hall of Fame. One of the most polarizing quarterbacks in NFL history is Eli Manning, whereas his older brother Peyton was a lock for first ballot Hall of Fame status after building a resume that includes 5 MVP awards. 5. 2 Super Bowl rings and 10 All-Pro selections. Eli's case for Canton is a bit murkier. Yes, his Hall of Fame case is stronger than most players. He won 2 Super Bowls and was Super Bowl MVP each time, but his career extends beyond those 2 games. Eli ended his career with an exact 500 winning percentage, going 117 and 117 in regular season games. And that's pretty much sums up the kind of quarterback he was. Eli was never great, nor was he terrible. He was just okay. One could say he was the okayest quarterback of all time. Okay. His Hall of Fame case gets even slimmer when you set his Lombardi trophies aside and poke around his trophy case for other accolades. Eli never won an MVP award, nor was he ever particularly close. No Offensive Player of the Year awards either. Through 16 seasons, he never once earned a first-team or second-team All-Pro nod. And he finished as a Pro Bowler just 4 times. To make matters worse, the 2026 class looks to have 2 players who are likely to get in on their first year of eligibility, Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, they should be absolute locks to go in. Adam Rank, a writer for NFL.com, recently put out his predictions for the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame class, and Eli was not part of it. Due to, in large part, to Brees and Fitzgerald, the remaining 3 spots went to Luke Kuechly, Willie Anderson, and Jari Evans. And it's hard to argue that any one of those 3 should be bumped in favor of Eli Manning. At the end of the day, there's a good shot that Eli will get in eventually. It just probably won't happen anytime soon. So, the one thing was, is that he really, if he could have gotten in this season, that really would have helped because he was not really going head to head, especially with any big name quarterbacks, right? So unfortunately, as time goes by, that Brees is going to be in there, Roethlisberger is going to be in, Brady's going to get in. There's going to be there's some big name quarterbacks that have more credentials than Eli does, and they'll get the nod. So it's probably somewhere along the line. It's not if, it's when. does he get into the Hall of Fame? Now, who knows? I said this year would have been a very good year for him. I said, because especially it says in these articles, if you go out maybe like the next 5 years or so, now maybe according to those articles, maybe 2030, maybe. So hopefully it won't take too long. But if Eli does get in, he looks like he's going to have to wait at least a little while longer.